if you have education, you can face anyone on the planet Earth. My house was destroyed by a mortar. And then my mother was crying. And my father said, don't cry. I have educated them, all of them, so they will do well.
ข้าพเจ้าเป็นลูกชาวนาพ่อแม่ก็บ่ฮู้หนังสือแต่ย้อนการศึกษาพาให้ข้าพเจ้าได้มีวิธีงานทำและสามารถเข้าสู่เวทีการเมืองได้แล้วก็ก้าวมาเป็นรัฐมนตรีศึกษาได้
UNESCO is the lead agency for education for all, which is the second Millennium Development Goal.
My country has only 10 years old. We have around 60% of our population still illiterate. We are now trying to make sure that by 2015, illiteracy could be eradicated in my country.
We need to do more for education. It's not a matter of privilege. It should be the right for all people to not only be educated, but also to acquire knowledge.
It's important not just for the development of the individual, but also for the development of the nation.
ผมจบการศึกษาในระดับประถมศึกษาในชนบทนะครับและแน่นอนไม่มีเครื่องมืออื่นใดที่จะเปลี่ยนแปลงคนให้คนได้พัฒนาและมีความเจริญงามมีแต่เรื่องการศึกษาเท่านั้นจะเป็นเครื่องมือที่สำคัญนะครับ
Why everybody have the right to education? Because that's the only way to ensure everyone's have a better life.
Education for all
is a human right.
It is our responsibility.
The World Trade Organization is to deliver its final ruling on a tax dispute between Thailand and the Philippines next week. The ruling is expected to have an impact on the tax system, the cigarette industry, and customs valuation practice. The Philippine government in 2008 petitioned the WTO that Thailand was conducting unfair customs practice by rejecting the import price declared by US-based Philip Morris for cigarettes it manufactured in the Philippines. Declared import price is used as a base for tax calculation, and Thai authorities suspected the company was declaring an artificially low price to avoid paying full taxes. Tammy Chan, general manager of Philip Morris Thailand, said the WTO's final ruling was due on June 17, and it would be an important guideline for customs valuation. The WTO dispute settlement panel ruled previously in favor of the company. The Thai government appealed against the ruling, but the Customs Department currently accepts the import price declared by Philip Morris. The Department of Special Investigation has been investigating the case, and the opposition Pheu Thai raised the issue during the no-confidence debate in March against the Democratic government, accusing it of helping Philip Morris evade tax payment.
After directing intensified criticism against the Philippines regarding the South China Sea territorial disputes, China has agreed to implement immediate peace with other ASEAN countries. Defense Ministry Secretary General Vice Marshal Aris Arianto told reporters that China has conveyed its own commitment to peace, so have the other 4 countries. He added that other countries have also urged the immediate implementation of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties, or DOC, on the South China Sea. The DOC intends to reduce tension and peacefully resolve claims over the South China Sea and improve the general political climate in the dispute islands. ASEAN countries including China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Philippines and Vietnam have expressed claim on the Spratly and Paracel Islands located in the South China Sea. Earlier, the Philippines government accused China of 6 incidents of intrusions into its territory. It includes 1 incident in March where 2 Chinese patrol boats allegedly tried to ram a survey ship. China has since intensified criticism of the Philippines over the dispute waters. According to China's Foreign Minister's spokesperson Hong Lei, China demands that the Philippines stop unilateral actions that damage China's sovereignty and interests at sea and could lead to the expansion and complications of the South China Sea dispute, and stop issuing irresponsible comments that are inconsistent with facts. Posted in the ministry's website on Tuesday, Hong insisted that cruising and carrying out scientific studies by Chinese vessels in waters under Chinese jurisdiction were in line with the law. Vietnamese officials have also accused Chinese patrol boats of harassing an oil exploration ship conducting a seismic survey 120 kilometers off Vietnam's south central coast. Another incident this month where Chinese vessels placed a buoy and post in parts of the sea where it asserts claim over spurred protests in the cities of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, the Requirer noted. Hong said that China is willing to make direct negotiations with the Philippines to seek an appropriate resolution to the relevant dispute. Hong also stressed that economic activities conducted by Chinese enterprises in waters under Chinese jurisdiction are completely normal.
China's May Consumer Price Index is expected to rise 5.4% year-on-year. In a poll which covered 20 securities companies and commercial banks, the average CPI growth estimate was 5.4%, with the highest forecast at 5.6%. Official economic statistics from May 2011 from the National Statistics Bureau are due to be published on June 14. 17 out of 18 respondents estimated that the producer price index in May would fall back to an average of 6.5%, a drop down from 2010 record. Chief economist at Citigroup, Peng Sheng, said monetary tightening policies are now taking effect, citing the large decrease in May's Purchasing Managers Index from 66.2 to 60.3, according to official statistics. The majority of economists surveyed said they do not anticipate any noteworthy risk of stagflation or hard landing for China's economy. Some suggested that the central bank may further raise interest rates in June or July. An unreasonably large hike in food prices based the main reason behind high CPI projections. Data released by the NBS on June 4th indicated price increases for all but a few food products during the last 10 days of May. China International Capital Corp's chief economist Peng Wensheng said the growing trend of food prices in late May increased the likelihood that June's CPI may hit 6%. Sun Mingxiong, China's chief economist at Daiwa Capital Markets, estimated the prices for non-food products would increase by 2.9% year-on-year in May, up from April's 2.7%. He also suggested that the ongoing drought in China will add to price inflation of agricultural products as companies stock up inventory in anticipation of a supply shortage.
Workers at state-run companies in Greece walked off the job in a series of work stoppages yesterday in protest against the government's privatization plan. The strike and plan demonstration came as Prime Minister George Papandreou was to convene his cabinet to approve additional austerity measures for this year throughout 2015 and send the measures to Parliament to be voted on. The plans, which would see the state-owned companies such as the Piraeus Port Authority sold off, came as Greece make a renewed push to meet the terms of its international bailout. Under the slogan, "We won't sell," workers at state companies were holding strikes throughout the day. Public transport workers were walking off the job in the early morning and late evening, while port workers, post offices and banks called a 24-hour strike. AP television news pictures show deserted railway stations, long lines of taxis and commuters waiting in vain for metro stations to open. Greek television station technicians were also on strike, as were journalists at the state-run broadcaster, disrupting live news programming. Two demonstrations were planned in Athens, while a broader strike is to be held on 15th June. The prospect of new measures had led to outrage. Angry Greeks have taken over the central Syntagma Square, setting up a tent city in a sit-in, while tens of thousands of people thronged the square which lies in front of Parliament last Sunday. Papandreou and his ministers have recently come under intense criticism from their own Socialist Party deputies in a series of marathon meetings over the plan, which include a remedial €6.4 billion or about $9.4 billion package of cuts and tax hikes for this year, a renewed austerity drive for 2012 to 2015, and a €50 billion privatization program. While deputies of Papandreou's governing PASOK party have become increasingly vocal in their criticism of ministers, none have said outright they will not vote for the plan in Parliament, where PASOK holds a 6-seat majority in the 300-member legislature. While all the details of the plans have not been officially released, leaks have indicated they will include tax increases on fuel, property, soft drinks and tobacco, as well as on restaurants and bars. The threshold below which income is not taxed will be reduced significantly, while more taxes could also be imposed on pensioners.
Coming up next, Kunira Shah, it's Kung Fu Panda 2 with Around Asia with Asian News Network.